Hey guys, Moser with Negron Tech here, and today I'm bringing you my take on the Warlock coming up in 2 days. Time of filming, today is Monday night, trying to get this video out ASAP, especially because the 1.0 patch notes are out, and I kind of got the max roll build planner rolling. But the Warlock's very interesting, right? New archetype, brand new, not class, but specialization mastery, and it's so damn exciting. I love the dark magic, I love the necrotic, the blood, the chaos, the fire theme. It's one of my favorite archetypes in fantasies. It's such a cool, like, death theme build. I just love it, right? It's really, really awesome. So, real quick, the core of this build is going to be a Chaos Bolt, Int and Curse Stacker, crit and hit base with high mobility and a bunch of triggering of other spells to make the playstyle smooth and simple. I do apologize, I don't have gameplay. Obviously, I don't have access, and I don't really feel like reusing the same clips that you've probably seen 100 times from other videos when it comes to, the Warlock gameplay. It just doesn't really feel right taking other people's stuff. So, originally, I was dead set on running a pure dot Warlock. Like, you think about the Warlock, especially if you play WoW, you're like the Affliction Lock, like, draining their life, massive dots, massive damage. That's another really, really cool style that I really wanted to play. But, you look at the Warlock tree, there's so many good stuff when it comes to Damned, Ignite, and the infused ailments that you get. I was like, you know what? Everybody is probably gonna run dot Warlock, so let me try to be a hipster. You know me, I'm a super hipster, and I'm like, all right, I'll do something different. So then I'm like, I love Chaos Bolt. The visuals are awesome, and self cast. I've always been a fan of, like, coming from Path of Exile. I'm a big arc enjoyer, and I like self casting. And there is triggers in the build, but self-casting Chaos Ball is getting really hard-hitting crits, fast-casting Chaos Bolts. It seems, okay, we got something to work with here, right? And then we get into the curse stacking. And with that said, let me reveal to you my life's work when it comes to, I'm just kidding. This is a Google spreadsheet, right? Last Epoch's in kind of a curious position because in Path of Exile, all you need to do is show some gameplay and link your POB, your path of building, and that's all you need to do. Your path of building will reveal every single secret when it comes to your build. We don't really have a tool like that when it comes to Last Epoch. You do have the Maxroll LE Planner. I'm sure there's other websites with one too. But for some reason today, I can't save my profile. I created an account. I try to save it. Eventually, I'll go back here. It doesn't save. I've tried this 100 times, so you could try to be like, oh well, Moses, do this. Like, it ain't gonna work. Trust me. So I had to come up with the Google spreadsheet. So now, at least when you see what the fuck the build is about, this is what it's about, right? It's a Warlock. The build core is going to be Chaos Bolt base. We're hit based. We're not utilizing Chaos Bolt dodge. We're not doing Damned Ignite. We're going to be pure hit based with crit. We're going to be an Int Stacker, Curse Stacker, 28 free Int from the tree, 5 from our abilities, our triggers. We're going to be highly mobile. Yeah, that's right. We're going to have 2 dashes, teleports on really, really short cooldown. We're going to have high haste uptime from the tree. We're going to have tankiness from a different bunch of different stacking methods. We'll get in that in the defensive section. And that's it. Like, that is the core of the build. So if you want to play highly mobile, relatively tanky, leech, armor, ward, everything, maybe a little bit of block sprinkled in there, hit base Chaos Bolter with triggers and a bunch of curses, yeah, this is the build for you. And of course, if you want to play something different. So, the playstyle. This is going to be primarily a 2-button build. You get into monoliths if you have never played Last Epoch before. Similar to your mapping, I don't like to say it, but your D4, your dungeons, Jesus Christ, man. Game's terrible. Alright. But it's mostly a 2-button build. You're going to use Spirit Plate, which is going to trigger some other fun stuff, and then you're going to kill things with Chaos Bolt. Your Spirit Plate is going to spread around due to your hits and killing things, and then you're going to Chaos Bolt. Chaos Bolt is going to be your big damage. When we get into some tankier, I don't even want to say rares, but tankier monsters and bosses, use Chthonic Fissure for the tankier enemies bosses. We're going to use Unspec Profane Veil as our oh shit button, and then again, Chthonic Fissure and Transplant. I can't think of it as Transplant. I keep thinking of it as Body Swap because the animation is so similar for your teleport dashing, right? How are we going to scale our damage? Besides the whole curse thing that I'll get into in a second here, we're going to be Int Stacker, right? Int increases everything that we do. We get 4% increased damage per Int. We get 28 free. We should be at should be over 50 well into like the early monoliths, right? Like, it's really, really not hard. Crafting in this game is so beautiful. And not even talking about T6 and T7 Int affixes, you're still going to get the T4 and 5s. You're going to be very, very solid from Int, and we got a lot of good things from Int. I'll tell you in a second. So we're going to use all forms of necrotic and spell damage. Increase more, the flat added, whatever it is, we want that, right? Then we also get some crit chance and multi. This should have an asterisk next to it because we are not heavily investing into crit chance. There is a little bit that we can get from the Chaos Bolt tree. There's a little bit that we can get from Acid Skin Curse from Chthonic Fissure. And, you know, that's asterisk because we might just go, not worry about that, maybe get some points and utilities from the trees and the passive tree and the skill trees into some defenses, maybe some more health and stuff like that, and cast speed. Cast speed is very, very, very important due to the way that we want to utilize a lot of triggers. Blood Rip trigger, I think, is 2 per second. So the more cast speed we have, the more chances to get these triggers up, the more chances to get that stacking trigger. It's like very, very, very important, and it just feels good. It feels so good to cast fast and kill things quickly, get all your buffs up, get those curses. It's awesome, guys. So getting into the benefits of curse stacking. Oops, I'm not the Google Sheets pro, guys, right? If you've seen any of my videos, you probably know, but the benefits of curse stacking, here's what we get from it. We get mana on hit, 65% chance for 13 mana on hit. That's a 3-second cooldown. Not a big deal. And then when we do hit people with a curse, 2 mana on hit. Caveat, real quick. Chaos Bolt, I don't know for sure how it works. I don't have access to the game, but if it's similar to Path of Exile, and with the increase, the more, a lot of the last Epoch stuff is similar to Path of Exile. We're gonna have, I think it's base 3 projectiles. There is a chance that every Chaos Bolt projectile counts as its own hit. It should, because each of its own hit would apply the dot. That was the reason why I wanted to do dot Chaos Bolt. Stacked multi-proj, stacked ignite, damn chance, all that stuff. You're gonna get a lot of dots. Every single thing I'm gonna say in this spreadsheet, keep in the back of your mind, there is a chance that it's gonna be triple for each Chaos Bolt projectile. I didn't add it into the mathematics here, but think about it, that there is a possibility that all this will be 3 times better for some of the stuff. So less damage taken per curse. We take 2% less from the tree. We take 10% less damage. I don't know if it says it's multiplicative, but if it's like bone armor and frailty, then it should be, right? Health on hit from Chaos Bolt, 42 total. Now imagine if that one's tripled and we're getting 126 health per Chaos Bolt cast. Like, you can see, like, Warlock is definitely going to be broken on release. If the damage numbers are pretty accurate, then it's going to be crazy. Then we're going to get double dance chance. We're going to get 10% total. That's huge. That's really, really awesome. And from the wording of the Chaos Bolt, it seems like it's not going to be the per projectile, but the cast has a chance to be double damage, which is going to increase the value that we get from this double damage chance, right? And let me fix that real quick. Next up, from curse stacking, we actually get, I just called it Last Stand. I don't know why, but, you know, your oh shit ward, which is going to be a 500 ward trigger when you drop below 35% health with just a 5-second cooldown. That's a lot, guys. We get a lot of ward. We get a lot of ward retention. And we're going to use a lot of ward in the build when it comes to armor and other things. So haste on kill, rare boss hit. Not only do we get haste, but we also get increased effectiveness. And it's a 25% chance. So like when we're running around a monoliths, we're going to be fast. It's going to be enjoyable. Very, very, very smooth. You know, I played a lot of Sentinel and different variations of hammer throw. Feels terrible how slow it is, guys. All right. We also get 15% more armor when hit. This is a little bit weird on the wording because it says when you get hit, depending on the curse, 3% per curse. It's treated as you get 50%. So does it trigger after you're hit? When you're hit? Does it trigger when you're hit and then it applies to the hit? I don't know. But I'm assuming either way, you get little small hits. You get 50% more armor, probably multiplicative, right? Huge. And of course, you just get all the other utility that the curses provide. The damages, the slows, all that other BS, right? So the benefits of int stacking. Now, don't think of this like PoE stacking where you pretty much sacrifice a lot of your gear pieces and your passive tree for the sake of strength, deck stacking, or int stacking in PoE. It's really not like that. It's super, super simple. You know, in your prefixes that you can get int, when you check last epoch here or you go last max row here, the LE planner, you can hover over int and, oh wow, it doesn't tell you. Oh no, it does. Okay, so you can see helmet, armor, your rings, your gloves, boots, relic. These are the sources that you can get the certain affixes, right? Health, intelligence. So I added it in the gear section at the bottom, but just get in every single where you can. You get so many benefits. You get the general increased damage for everything we do. The spells, the damage over time spells, the hard-hitting spells, everything. Ward retention. Awesome as we generate a bunch of ward. We get a bunch of ward decay threshold 2. Increased damage. Not increased damage. It's Increased generation, ward generation from Blood Rip. It does say health, but at any health scaling from Blood Rip, I haven't even played Accolade because I didn't want to spoil myself for release. But we're going to get increased ward generation from percentage int. We get flat added spell damage to Spirit Plague. So that is also really, really good. Spirit Plague is going to be like our 1-2 punch. It's going to, trigger some things. And then we're also going to get a trigger chance for Blood Rip. Just right out the gate, from the gear, just from the tree, you're going to get 28 from the tree, which is huge. You're going to be around 30 int without any int on your gear. You get 2 to 3 pieces, you're already at 50 int. You got a 50% chance for Blood Rip, and it's going to be huge. That's going to be one of our big triggers that we're going to focus on. And then also, flat 1 mana per 1 int. That's not on hit, that's per 1 int. We're going to get more and more mana, and the way that I actually planned out the tree, I'll show you guys in a second here. I'll get back to it, but we are going to go with more mana cost. We're not going to go all the way in with the mana autarky, but we are going to get extra proges and a 27 cost mana. I don't know if that's correct, but 27 cost mana. It's a good amount, but we should have no issues, right? And we're going to go back. All right, so that's why we instack. That's why we curse stack. Now looking at the defensives. Where are our defensive layers? Gearing wise, I'll get into a bit, but I favor armor. Accolade has a lot of good armor options. We get 240 just from the tree. I haven't compared it to Sentinel, but I feel like that's pretty damn high when it comes to passive skill tree armor sources. We get 50% more one hit. I talked about that. 3% of all damage leech as life. Another 4% spell damage leech as life too. Less damage taken. We take 10% less damage from the 5 curses. Frailty is another 6% less damage taken, multiplicative. And bone armor on kill from bone curse is going to be 10% less damage taken, multiplicative. We also utilize fear. I don't have anything written there because it just makes them run away for us, a 2-second duration. Ward. This is the juicy part. Rip Blood is ward gen instead of health. We get enough, I don't want to say health regen, but we get, 7% in general. That's going to be our spell damage leech as life. That's a lot. We get a lot of ward decay threshold. This should be exponentially better than just getting health from Rip Blood. Ward is like that extra protective layer, right? It's such a good mechanic in this game, and it feels so good. So I much rather go with the ward instead of health from Blood Rip. We get 12 on hit from Spirit Plague. We get the last stand that I talked about, the 500 ward, flat, 5-second cooldown. 50% health trigger from tree. I don't take this in the version that I'm going to link you. And again, this it hasn't been working for me all day. I guess the website is just getting overloaded. The servers are just really, really bad and nothing saves. But it is what it is, right? And then remember, as an instacker, we get the ward retention, so we get even more value from ward. Chill and freeze from Chaos Bolt. We do spec into converting fire into cold. We don't really specifically target necrotic or spell damage. We really just, if there's opportunities to get necrotic on some affixes, we can go that route. But generally, we just want the increased spell damage, and then mostly focus on necrotic. We're not really focusing on fire at all. So there's really no reason to not convert it and get the defensive utility that chill and freeze from the cold conversion. So it's only like 2 or 3 points generated, so it's really, really not bad. All right, now into the curse overview. Necrotic damage, first off, is Spirit Plague. And then I added right here so you guys know. Spirit Plague, necrotic damage, which lasts for 3 seconds. Going to add fear for 2 seconds, 12 ward on hit, spread on hit and on crit, frailty on hit to increase our tankiness, added spell damage from int. And again, remember, we're int stacking. So it's a big juicy. It's our 1-2 punch. Hopefully you go into a bigger mob, cast Spirit Plague 1 time, spam Chaos Bolt. Dash around the battlefield, cast it again on another mob. And we really don't want to be wasting our time casting a Chthonic Fissure because it's just not needed for the trash mobs, right? The harder mobs, the harder arena waves, stuff like that. Yeah, you're going to use Chthonic Fissure to trigger those other 2 curses. But generally, Spirit Plague and our Chaos Bolt, we're going to get 3 curses from that. Bone Curse. We're going to get an 8-second duration on a 6-second trigger. 100% uptime from Chaos Bolt. Very, very, very good. We're going to convert that to Necrotic too. Remember, we're not scaling physical. We get those added spell would affect the physical, but all those free sources of necrotic damage, even though we don't really get a lot of free necrotic damage from the tree, we utilize other methods. But for the gear that we are able to get necrotic and there's really no other option for increasing our damage, we want to convert everything that we can to necrotic damage. So Uh, it converts necrotic, marked for death. It's an ailment, I believe, but 25% less resist on all enemies, so that's gonna help our cold part, but mainly focusing on getting that necrotic resist low. Anguish applies when we cast Spirit Plague as well as triggers on hit for rare or boss. And I don't want to say the damage triggers on hit right now. I haven't found the confirmed details. It might be up now on LE Tools, but pretty much generally what I read, it reduces the dot damage dealt by enemies, and then it also deals necrotic damage when we do hit them from the rares and bosses, or if we don't hit rares and bosses and it triggers just while mapping, it just triggers the necrotic damage on death, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And then our last two are going to be Torment and why is this one so much bigger? Is going to be Torment and Acid Skin, which are both going to trigger from Chthonic Fissure. So Torment slows, deal necrotic dot, and Acid Skin poison damage over time. We don't care about that. Enemy has a 20% chance to be crit. So real quick, just going over here. Again, it's going to be a 1-2 punch of Spirit Plague and Chaos Bolt. Our Chaos Bolt is going to trigger Bone Curse and Blood Rip. All right, we're going to get a lot of benefits. Getting into that, our main skills, this is going to be on your hotbar. This is going to be your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to use Chaos Bolt, Profane Veil, Oh Shit button, Transplant Body Swap, your dash, Spirit Plague, your other 1-2 punch, and then Chthonic Fissure for the more difficult fights, waves, battles, whatever, right? Our skill specialization, remember, this is what you're actually going to do for the skill trees, is going to be Chaos Bolt, Spirit Plague, Chthonic Fissure, Blood Rip, and Bone Curse. Now, getting the key notes from the specializations, right? I already talked about a little bit, but Chaos Bolt, we're going to convert fire to cold for chill. We're not scaling fire anyway, again. So we get chill for free utility, and then we're going to go for multi-proj too. This is kind of a contention. I don't know if I'm going to stick this route because Exalt in Misery is disgusting. In 3 points here, that is 48% more damage on hits. That is crazy, right? Now, the only issue is that Chthonic Aura, if we think about 3 Chaos Bolt projectiles doing 100% of the damage, right? Every extra projectile does 33% more damage, and this is guaranteed. We don't have to do further investments to get Ignite, Bleed, Frostbitten, even though we get those for free. But we don't have to do any other passive skill investments or gear investments to generate these ailments. Now, back to Chthonic Ore. If we get 4 extra projectiles, that's 33% more damage times 4. But that's not 100% correct because you're going to need a lot of area for it to actually overlap, right? This is only a chance for the increased area. So I don't have the game, so I can't tell you for sure, but you know, this isn't going to be just 33 times 4. What is that? 99, 134, 132, 132% more damage. It's probably not going to work like that. But even this way, you're most likely going to get at least 2 overlaps. At worst, 1, which makes it really, really good investment compared to this. And, you know, you even going this route, you have the chance for increased area. So from the footage I saw, it always seems like 3 bolts overlap at the explosion area. So there's a very, very good chance that this is going to be absolutely fine. I mean, if we get 3 or 4 projectiles, that's massive. We are getting a lot of mana from Int, but Manarchy, I don't really think it's worth it. But back to talking about it, right? I had this right here just in case, you know what? I don't like the idea of the extra projects. I'd rather just get the reliable on hit from the ailment stacking. You can do that. And then, of course, from Chaos Bolt, we're going to Rip Blood and we're going to Bone Curse from Trigger. Rip Blood is based off our Int chance, which is why we're going to stack Int2. It's just, we get so many benefits from it, right? Too good. Bone Curse is, again, the 6-second trigger, 8-second duration, and also excellent here. Chthonic Fissure. Oh, I actually didn't do a section for Bone Curse. I got to add that in. So, using this to apply 2 free curses, Torment and Acid Skin for us tougher enemies. Now, Chthonic Fissure, you know, it's also going to be able to trigger its own Chaos Bolt on chance instead of the Spirits at release. Because why not more Chaos Bolts? We're all about the Chaos Bolts. So, we grab Spirit Frequency from that tree. Mana reduction plus mana refunded. Very, very good. Top it all off, we add this reversal attack because we don't care about the damage. We just want all the utility and we want some more Chaos Bolts and 2 curses. That's it. We don't care about the Chthonic Fissure damage. We care about all the utility that it can provide, and it provides a crap ton of utility. Rip Blood. Necrotic Conversion. Ward instead of health. Very, very good. Coagulation. Maybe. I don't really know. This is my personal preference. I'm focusing on the Ward gen. It's yet to be seen if that's better. It probably is. Rip Blood. It provides so much more instead of pure damage. This might change from release where if the damage is really, really good from or scaling, then maybe. And I do have to add bone armor here. I don't know why I haven't talked about this or Spirit Plague. I messed up, guys. But, you know, Spirit Plague is pretty much written right there. Bone Curse from Bone Armor. The thing about Bone Armor is that we really just want to generate some tankiness, and then we want to generate Mark for Death, Bone Armor on kill. I keep saying Bone Armor, it's Bone Curse. My apologies. Get some more damage here. The Bone Eruption, not bad. The mana cost shouldn't really bother us. But we also going to get Necrotic Conversion again. We want to do primarily necrotic damage. So when you do go Bone Curse, the only real requirements for me are going to be the Bone Armor and the Necrotic Conversion plus Mark for Death. And that's pretty much it. All this other stuff, you know, we're not focusing on the damage. We're focusing on actually just getting utility and getting curses, because Bone Armor and Spirit Plague are curses. 1, 2, and then we get another curse from, where is it? Anguish from the tree. And then, you know, we get our 2 more curses from Chthonic Fissure, and that's our total. So as of now, for the passive skill tree, it's going to be Acolyte, Warlock, and Lich. I have a 2071-18 setup. I changed it around a lot. I'll get into it in a second here. But before I do that, I'm going to talk about the gear. I'm not going to go down the list with this. I don't know. I don't have like 3,000 hours in last Epoch like I have like a couple thousand in Path of Exile. And I've been playing Path of Exile since 20 Breach. Well, actually Essence. So since I was in the army in 2016, I think. So been a long ass time, guys. Right. Pretty much, again, I go back to how to scale everything. Necrotic, cast speed, multi, crit, the crit and multi, asterisk. And then, you know, intelligence when we can get it. So pretty much, like, I added this just because it's like, all right, for each gear slot, you want CB Proj is a special affix for the helmet. And then, dude, just get health and resist, you know? I don't want to be too basic, but, you know, max crit avoidance as well. That's that. I will add this bone armor summary, and I don't really need the Spirit Plague because it's kind of right there anyway. But let's get into the skill tree. I do apologize. This link does not work. It's so goddamn annoying. I'll try to add the link eventually, but hopefully you guys see if I. 1 second. Hopefully this is big enough for you guys to actually see, and I'll just go over it. Acolyte is real simple. Bone armor is too goddamn good. Armor is good. Yes, armor good. Necrotic resist. Yay. Very good. Then we need 4 more points. This is pretty much really the only option. We get 4 vitality. Vitality gives us 10 health, so we get 40 health from that. You could go Manai of Mortality, but I just don't like how it's a chance, and it does not scale with the points. So 10% chance to get, you know, that's a lot of ward, but it's only a 10% chance, and it's a heavy investment that we don't really need. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. All right, Warlock. Warlock is very simple. You get increased mana regen. Again, remember, we are going with more mana on our Chaos Bolt, more Proj. Bone Curse is going to cost more mana with the Eruption triggers. So there is a chance that we might have a problem with mana generation. If we do, then we can always just get rid of these 4 and just put our 3 points into here, and we really probably won't lose much. This is disgusting. The only thing with Exalt and Misery is that you would have to probably get 1 more point for damn chance, and it's crazy. And then, you know, from there you can go Bone Armor, get a chance to bleed, just pivot the points around here too, but really simple. You guys could probably figure it out yourself. But again, that's why we go the mana regeneration. Next up, intelligence. Not only do we get the intel, the intelligence, but we also get the flat mana per, which is very good if we are fit. You know, it's a lot of mana, guys, right? Also, Harry, I'm gonna max this out. Health and armor. Holy crap, that is so good. And then this shit's broken. Like I can't believe they put this stuff in there. You have more armor per unique curse. We get 5 unique curses, 50% more armor on the attacker when they hit me. That's good. All right, next up, Spirit Leech. Spirit Leech is very good. This is going to be, wait a second. Oh, yeah, so Health Leech is 1.5, and then against Curse. They're always going to be cursed. That's where we get the 3%. I almost had to think about it for a second, right? We get flat ward per second. Very good. Even better, 10% less damage. Now, generally, it's going to be 6% less during mapping, but, you know, I honestly feel like when you're mapping, you can run around and just go Spirit Plague, Chthonic Fissure if you wanted to, and you would kill everything. Like, Chthonic Fissure dash, Spirit Plague, maybe a Chaos Bolt or two, and everything's gonna get absolutely melted, right? Malefic Body, super, super, super good. This is such a good node. 10 int, 10 vitality. Both want those. And then here, very, very, very good. We get a 10% chance to do double damage when it really matters on bosses, right? Because most of the time we're going to have 3 curses up for this. Chthonic Fissure, Spirit Plague, all our curses, 10% chance to do double damage. That's pretty good, guys. For now, I do not have Wreak Havoc. You'll notice I have 12 unspent points. I kind of want to leave you guys some unspent points just to... Maybe you want some more health more health here, maybe some dots. I don't know. Maybe you want the crit multi. You know, the crit multi is very, very good, and getting the crit multi from the double damage, that's very, very good. Now you get 70 crit multi when 10% of the time when you do double damage. Pretty damn good, right? Encroaching Darkness. When you directly cast a curse, we always cast Spirit Plague ourselves. We are directly casting it, and we inflict anguish. Very, very, very good. Fleeting Crone, you have a chance to gain haste. This is kind of crazy because we're always going to get the curses. We get a 25% chance when hitting a boss or rare. And then, wait a sec. Yeah, so it's 25% on rare boss and 25% on kill. You're going to get this all the time while you're mapping, while you're running around in those monoliths. And then you get 50% increase effect. Yeah, we're going to be fast, heavy armor, tanky boys, guys. A curse here is huge, huge. We definitely want the increased cast speed. And I don't know why they're separated. Maybe curses don't benefit from cast speed inherently, or maybe they want you to have a little bit more cast speed when it comes to the curse. Either way, we want to max this out. It's huge, right? And then we also get the Last Stand Ward, which is just crazy. It is a little bit annoying that it's going to cleanse the curses on the enemies, but we're casting Spirit Plague directly anyway. We're going to be triggering curses. It's no big deal, guys. And then we're going to get our 3-point bonus here to trigger the damage from Anguish to help our single target damage when it comes to bossing, right? Like hitting a boss or rare will trigger the damage from Anguish. I don't have the numbers, but they're always going to be cursed. Anguish will always be up. And then, we also get the flat spell damage from curses, which scales, even if the curse is a dot, added effectiveness from flat, if it specifies, is gonna help. So, very, very, very good. Going into the last is going to be Lich. Hey, mana regen and what it's all about, guys. Then we get more health and survival to cruel. Damn. And another 4% spell damage Lich has health. Guys, all we're doing is spell damage. Spell. Now, the negative part when it comes to Lich is that the spell damage Lich has health. From what I read, it does not. From what I've read, it does not apply to dots. That's what I read. It could be wrong information. I'm not an expert on that, but just getting 7% pretty much spell damage Lich has life. That's kind of disgusting, right? Very, very good. There's nothing in Necromancer that's worth it, and that's it. You got 12 free points. You could get some Soul Barrier here if you wanted to. You could go more necrotic damage. This is a good no. 60% is pretty solid. Bleed chance, nah. Vanguard, no. But, there's some other nodes in here that you can get. You can get some more health and dot if you wanted to. Wouldn't really recommend it. There's some vitality here. This one is interesting, Ward of Malevolence, because it's not that. It's imperishable, right? So just getting more Ward Decay threshold per 1% necro. This does not say uncapped necrotic resistance. So if you go 3 and max that out, you still have the 4 points. 75 more Ward Decay threshold, that's pretty damn good. And that's definitely something that, if you want to go that route, you can. I wanted to make sure I didn't just give you a tree that's filled with 100 points and you have no options. You have plenty of options here. Even some of the things that if you want to translate, some of the haste chance, because even 15 is pretty damn good. I just like 5 because I want to get the max. And, generally you're not really locked into it. You can even go more ward per second. Very, very, very good. And let me talk about the skill tree. I will talk about Bone Armor first because I didn't go over it in the Google Sheets. But, again, necrotic conversion, marked for death, Bone Armor on kill, a little bit more damage. Chaos Bolt, I will save that for last. Spirit Plague, again, I talked about it. We want to spread on hit, spread on crit, ward gen. This is already just necrotic. Some mana efficiency because 0% mana. Slow, very, very good. Increased, we don't care about that. Just general more damage because why not? We already got all the utility you need when people are feared. This is actually pretty interesting too, the combo, but it's like, I don't want to, we're Chaos Ball focused. I don't want to do one 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or I'll just do 1, 2, 1, 2. And then, of course, the big one, more flat spell damage. Getting, like, this is with the gear, but not the tree int. Like, if this had the int that I had from the tree, I know that's pretty much like a whole bunch of T5 int A fixes, but let's just say you have 50. Getting 50 flat spell damage for Spirit Plague is pretty damn good. So, Rip Blood, this is entirely utility focused, as I said. You know, Blood Orbs instead give us Ward. Very, very good. We also convert to Necrotic, because when we do scale from gear, like, where do I have it? Oh, like the belt. Like this gear set isn't really finished, but you get the point, you know. And then Coagulation, maybe you got an extra point here. You can get rid of Coagulation, get rid of Mana Feast. There's some other things you can do here. Wow, 100k damage. Very, very nice. Now, Chthonic Fissure, all about utility. We get Traversal. We get, Spirit Release Chance. Yeah, that's not really needed. You can just go this way, but whatever. You got the extra point. So the big thing when it comes to Chthonic Fissure is that we have to get Acid Skin. This curse could give us no utility, and we will still take it. That's how good it is. Just every curse gets multiplicatively better than the last one, right? Like, we get, instead of getting the more armor, the more damage, more double percent damage. Like, everything gets better the more curses we have, right? And we get all the curses that we can get due to specialties, due to Anguish, the Tree, due to Spirit Plague, and Bone Curse. So it's just very, very, very good, right? So pretty much that's that. I also want to make it a dash, and a 3.5 second cooldown, that's nothing, guys. Like, that's nothing. Like, if that was 5 or 6 seconds, I would still take this. If it was 10 seconds, I would still take this. That's how good I think it is, because we're really only using it as utility, right? This one kind of is really, really good too, a secondary fissure, but the issue with that is that a 42 and now getting 80%, 30 something more mana, that's almost 100 mana, and we're already might be a little bit strained on mana. Oh no, all right, we didn't lose it. Maxwell, you're killing me today. All right, but again, the big thing also here is that normally the spirits are going to go out there and float. Instead of that, there's a 60% chance for them to generate Chaos Bolts, which is good because it benefits from the Chaos Bolt tree. It's crazy, guys. It's like, oh my god, you Chthonic Fissure, and those trigger Chaos Bolts. And then those Chaos Bolts trigger Bone Curse and Spirit, and not Bone Curse and Spirit, but Bone Curse and Rip Blood, and then crazy. You can do a one-button build with the Chthonic Fissure, like that'd be really, really good. But I don't really want to go that route because it's kind of like, it's a little bit too obvious, right? It's just like, all right, yeah, clearly that's going to be crazy, right? Like, you Chthonic Fissure, you do Chaos Bolts from that, it does massive damage. You would shift a lot of this to focus purely on damage, but again, for another build. It is a chance for no extra proges, and then for a 60% mana consumption. 7 mana, 60%, what is that, 4 mana if they round it off, you know, no big deal. So it's really not a big deal. Plus we get all the int, the flat mana from int. We get, I think it is a very, very good, this mana regen is not correct. We can get some mana regen from gear, and also we get from, sorry guys. We get 20% from Lich, and then we also get 20% from Soul Sealer, and we could invest more. And the effect cooldown, that's good too, right? Whatever. Alright, so Chthonic Fissure, talked about it. Rip Blood, did I talk about this? Yep. Talked about Chaos Bolt. Yep. But, I talked about it a little bit, but pretty much again, Cold Conversion, because why not? We get the chill defensive utility there, some freeze chance. Don't want to invest in it too much, and then we also get double damage chance against these people that are chill. So it's not just the 10% from the curses, it's also another 6% from this chill, which is kind of like crazy. There's no point for me to really go more. 20% is enough. Like, we're going to cast so fast, we're going to get so many more proches. Again, each one should be hitting and generating their own chill chance. I don't know if it works that way, but 6% free double damage, that's massive, guys, right? And then we get Mana and Flames. I talked about the whole Exalt and Misery versus Chthonic Aura. And the crit is very, very, very good, but kind of strained here because, again, I kind of just like the consistency from the Seed of Chaos. Chaos hits against cursed enemies have a chance to cause you to recast Chaos Bolts from their location towards another nearby enemy, consuming a portion. Only 80%. And this recast has a range of minimum 5 meters and will not cast at enemies within that. Wait, the recast has a minimum range of 5. So I guess they got to be outside 5 meters. You can't be in melee. whatever. We get the mana and health against Curse. And again, the two big ones, make sure you actually spec and Bone Curse trigger, which is right here against Curse enemies. Again, they're always going to be cursed. Triggers a Bone Curse, 8-second duration, 6-second cooldown, 100% uptime. And then we get Rip Bloods. We get 2 per second at max, and then we get a 1% chance. Hopefully we're at like, you know, again, if this was like the perfect scenario and we had our from a tree, would be at 80, be at 91 int right now, which is kind of like, I think that's pretty damn good, you know. So you're gonna max that out. Plus, that's why we go with all the cast speed to really, really, really help us. Ooh, 20 points here. Let me undo that right there. Yeah, there's some things that you can switch here. It's kind of tough because you're really, really constrained. Maybe 1 extra preg for the more consistent cast speed. I don't know, but you know, you guys can play with it, right? You guys can play with it. Now, I talked about the gear, gave you some affixes here. Don't really pay attention to this. Again, well, this link isn't even working, but I will try to put it in the description and edit the Google Doc eventually. But we pray that that actually works. But, you know, we get some crit. Maybe I won't go crit on release and say that for way, way, way down the road when it comes to build planning. And, you know, just get spell damage, health, resist. You get all that crap that you need, guys. And that is it. Hopefully this was pretty quick and to the point. And hopefully, comparatively to a lot of other videos, because I've seen people, you know, do their builds like, oh, here's my build plan, and they show this. If you're not interested in the build, at least you kind of figure out in the first like 5 seconds of the video, oh, hit base and curse stacking high. You know what? That doesn't really sound my type. There you go. Now you know. Now you don't have to F with this build. That's my thing, guys. All right, Moser with Negron Tech here. If you're coming from my other videos, thank you so much for coming back. I hope I earned a like. I hope I earned a subscription. If not, no big deal, guys. I hope you guys, again, I always say this is not my full-time job. YouTube never will be. I just enjoy gaming. I enjoy PC tech. I enjoy building computers, and I hope you guys have a good one. Please, you know, leave a comment. See if you might improve it. You know, some of you guys might know more than me. You might think, oh, wait a second. There's a unique item that I have no idea about that will really send this build to the moon. All right, guys. Moser with Negron Tech. Have a good one.